Hello and welcome back to another Firefly beading tutorial. In this video today I'll be showing you how to make an even-count peyote stitch charm, and this is part 1 of our Bead Weaving Basics series. So in this series I'm going to be showing you how to make all 3 of these little charms. Part 1 today is the even-count peyote stitch, part 2 will be the square/loom stitch, and part 3 will be brick stitch with an increase and a decrease. So peyote even count is probably one of the easiest to start off with, but all 3 should be pretty beginner friendly. Some things to get started. So we are using 10-0 Delicas today. They are a bit bigger and easier to use. That being said, I am using a thicker cord, so a 6-pound Fireline, and then a size 10 needle, which is a bit bigger because these beads are bigger. We do need, if you're using Fireline, you'd need some special cutters. So these are nice sharp cutters, they're Xuron, and they're very good with the braided Fireline. Chain nose pliers are excellent, especially because we're going to be using some jump rings to attach to our charms. I'm using 6mm 21 gauge jump rings here, and they fit nicely through these size 10 Delicas. If you're using smaller beads or you want a smaller ring, you could totally do that. You may need a thinner ring as well. Shovel is always a great idea. Ruler is very good, and this little guy is a thread zap, and it's excellent for cutting basically your tails at the end of your weaving process. Okay, so to begin here, we are also going to need a bead stopper, especially if you're not used to bead weaving. It's just a good thing to attach to your cord and hold everything in place as you're working. It does not match any of the pattern. It could be just a random bead. I'm going to be replacing the red and the pink with these blues here, and we are going to need about 18 inches of our thread. And again, you can use any thread. The Fireline is one of the easiest to begin with because it doesn't fray much when you're working with it like some of the other cords. So we need to attach our needle, and our needles kind of go on a certain way, like they're easier to put on one way. So you might have to flip your needle around just by turning it in order to fit it through the thread if you're having some trouble. You need about a 4-inch tail right here. And then the first thing we're going to do is add on our stopper bead. So again, this is a bead that has nothing at all to do with what pattern we're going to do, because we're going to remove this at the end. So you just bring it down a bit towards the end, and then I'm going to go in the direction that my thread is going. So I'm going just like this to create a little loop. And this can easily be slid around. So I want to position this bead about 6 inches or so from the end of our thread. And this is just enough that we can weave in our tail at the end. This bead will move slightly, so keep an eye on your tail as you work. All right, so to get started. So some people, if you have your beads in a little case like this, you could pick them up like that. But I like to put them onto my little mat here. For me, it's just a little bit easier to pick up. But either way, whatever works for you. And then the first thing we want to do is add on 3 whites and 3 blue beads. So 6 beads total here, and bring them down to our stopper bead. So we're actually going to be working on it like this, nowhere near where the jump ring is. So you could see these are the 2 rows. We're basically putting on the 2 rows right now. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So those are rows 1 and 2. So I'm actually starting the opposite of how I just showed you. So we're starting with the blue side instead of the flower side. I tuck my tail between my fingers like this. And the first thing we want to do is pick up a blue bead, dark blue bead. With peyote stitch, you're going to actually skip the first bead and go in through the second bead, just like this, okay? And notice how I'm pinching the beads with my fingers, holding everything in place as I pull my needle through. What you can do at this point is pull your two tails apart, and everything should tighten up to look like a little brick or, you know, a little tower here. So this is still going to move on you a little bit. So you can't rely completely on the stopper bead, but if you want to move it up tighter, you can to keep things tight. I like to work just a little bit loose so I can pinch the beads as I work. I'm going to pick up another blue bead, dark blue bead, and I'm going to skip a bead and go through the white bead. Pinch all my beads together, pull my tails, and watch my stack grow. Okay, and pull everything tight. It's nice to work tight with peyote stitch if you can. So now we're going to do the middle of the flower. Whoops, so we need to have a light blue within this pattern. We're going to skip a bead and go through the last bead. Pinch everything together and pull our needle tight. So you should have something that looks like this. And these are now rows 1, 2, and 3 if you're ever reading a pattern. 1, 2, 3. This is how you count it. So you've got your 2 on the outside and 1 on the inside. So you kind of go 1, 2, 3. Okay. If that makes sense. Otherwise, you could just follow along. Feel free to pause whenever you need to. So I like to flip my work to begin row 4. I'm going to pick up a white, and again, we're skipping the first bead and going in through the second bead. So you could see now we have beads sticking out. This is easy because now you know just to go through the beads that are sticking out. So I just put on my white. Now I'm going to put on another white, go through the beads sticking out. So peyote stitch, you're always going to skip a bead and then go through the beads sticking out. Pick up a dark blue bead and put it through the last bead. Oops. And pull it all tight. Okay, so it looks something like this. You can already see the flower forming pretty quickly. And again, I'm going to turn it around to work in a certain direction. Pick up a blue bead, skip the first bead, and go through the second, or you just know to go through the poking out bead. Pick up dark blue, go through the white. Pick up a white, and go through the last white. Pull tight. And look, our first flower already. It builds very quickly, this peyote, especially when we're using bigger beads like this. So it's a nice beginner-friendly thing. So pick up a dark blue, pull it through the white. Pick up a dark blue, move your tail, sometimes you need to move your cord out of the way and go through a dark blue. Then we're going to pick up a white for the next flower and go through the dark blue. Pull tight and look, just flip and continue on. So notice how I'm tucking my thread out of the way so I could see what I'm doing. So I just picked up a white, went through the white, pick up another white, go through the blue, pick up a dark blue, and go through the blue. All right, flip. Notice I'm pinching and pulling as I go. Picking up a dark blue, going through the blue, picking up a dark blue, going through the white, picking up a light blue, going through the white. Almost done with our second flower. Flip. Pick up a white, go through the light blue. Pick up a white, go through the dark blue. Pick up a dark blue and go through the last dark blue. Almost done. So for our final row, we're going to pick up a dark blue, go through a dark blue, pick up a dark blue, go through a white, pick up a white, and go through a white. And that's our pattern. We're done with building it. So you can see we've created this part right in here. Now we have to pay attention to where we're going to put the ring, and we're going to reinforce it. So our rings are going to go on the edges, and mostly the sticking out ones, so it's going to be the dark blue edges here. So you can choose where you want to put it. You might want to just reinforce both of these areas here, so these corners. So in order to do that, I'm going to need to bring my thread to the corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight in. So if we look right here, going in through the white bead and the second white bead. And we're just going to weave our thread in and out. And we want to follow where the thread's going to go. So whatever works for you, but I'm just going diagonally and then hiding my thread in nicely as I go. So I'm pulling tight each time. And I'm getting up to the corner here, so you can see I'm right around here, and I want to reinforce this corner. So I'm going to go through the corner bead. And in this case, I'm going to go through the next dark blue bead diagonally in, up through the one beside it, and back up diagonally. So I'm coming out of the second dark blue. That's one reinforcement. And I'm just going to do this again. So down through two diagonally, over and up through diagonally, coming out of that second bead. All right, down through two. All right, now we're going to just kind of weave everything in here. So I'm going to keep coming down diagonally. So instead of going back up, I'm just pulling my thread all the way through, so I can basically back weave. And this means just create an area where my thread can be strongly secured here. So I'm just going from bead to bead and really weaving my thread in so the tail doesn't come out once I cut it. So just side by side, whatever works. And right now, this is probably all I need to do, but you know, I'm just showing you how to secure it as if you're making a larger bracelet. So here is where is a good place to put a half hitch knot. So say you're doing a bracelet or a necklace. We're going to catch this little bridge. So it's the thread that's between two beads. Sometimes it's hard to get that needle through, but you can see I'm underneath this bridge of thread. I pull my needle, create a loop, and then create a little knot by pulling my needle through that loop. I'm going to pull this knot down, kind of wiggle it in place, and then I'm going to hide the knot inside the beads by pulling my needle back through the beads. So I'm going to pull it through two beads and pull tight, and this will pull my knot inside. And then I'm just going to back weave a little bit here to really secure my thread. So again, this may not be as necessary for a little charm like this, but it is a really good technique to know, because if your little piece is going to get wear and tear, like on a bracelet or something else that's going to get a lot of movement, back weaving and tying knots is a great way to really secure your thread so no tails come out. I like coming out towards the middle or somewhere inside of my piece before I cut off my tail. So here's this thread zap. I'll show you how it works. It's so cool. So I just bring it down and position it right against the bead. It's got a little button here, and the little tip, when you press this button, gets very hot, so you don't want to touch it, but that's going to just burn straight through this Fireline. It doesn't make a clean cut, so you don't want to originally cut your thread with this, but it just helps burn down little pieces. So see, this little piece is sticking out, so I just burn it down to hide it. That's why you still need the sharp cutters, but that works for cutting tails. So now we're just going to gently remove our stopper bead, and we have our excess tail, which should have been about 6 inches, and we're going to put our needle onto this 6-inch tail. So we just need enough to weave back in. So we reinforced this little area here, and we're going to have to now reinforce this if you decide to put your little ring on that side. And I'm just going to weave my thread in and out until I get down to this corner. You don't necessarily need to reinforce this last corner, but if you forget which side you reinforce, it's just good to do both before you put the ring on. So I'm coming out of the corner bead now, and I'm going back down and back up, just reinforcing this little area here. So I'm just going around and around just like we did on the other side a few times. And then we're ready to go down diagonally. And I'm just going to continue to go diagonally down until I get to the other side here. So just one bead at a time is all you need to do. Basically back weaving everything in away from that corner. And I'm coming out here to again do my little half hitch knot. So I'm catching this bridge. If I can get, it's a little bit hard sometimes with these thick needles, but catching that bridge, that little piece of thread there, bringing it through, creating a loop, putting my needle through that loop and slowly bringing that loop down, make it into a knot, and I'm going to hide that knot within these beads. So now I'm just back weaving. You need to always go into the beads that make sense. So you just don't want to go into random beads because the idea is to hide your thread. So you just want to make sure you go down, up, down, or something so that you're creating little squares, if you will, inside of your charm. So that's less likely for your tail to come loose. Pull everything tight. Make sure everything's hidden before you cut off your tail. And there we go. We have the first part of our charm. Very simple. The hardest part probably is the back weave, but it's just good to know how to do that. So now we're ready to choose a corner to put our ring on. And to put the ring on, I'm going to use my chain nose pliers here. And I'm just going to grab an open jump ring and open it and slide it through this bead. You got to be careful doing this because you don't want to break your beads. Delicas are made out of glass, so you don't want to smash them. But after you close up your jump ring here, then you're complete. These are cute little charms. You can make earrings out of them, bracelets. You can connect them together, do all kinds of things. All right, so next up is the square/loom stitch in part 2 of our Bead Weaving Basics series. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel to learn more tips and tricks from us at Firefly.